BT13 pre-release is literally less than 2 weeks away from happening. And with that, it is time for once again an obligatory set review. This set review has a lot more archetypes, and as such, there will be quite a few videos to go through. Without further ado, let's start with the first big one of the set, Yggdrasil and the Royal Knights. Yggdrasil is the mysterious host computer that rules over the digital world on one of its servers. Here, this Digimon functions as a new egg that honestly makes me think of Mother D Reaper. It does not promote out of the battle area, and is simply in the breeding area with a slew of effects. Number 1. Your Digimon can't digivolve while this Digimon is in the breeding area. Number 2. Once per turn when you would play a Digimon with Royal Knight and its traits, reduce its play cost by 4. For each Digivolution source under this Digimon, reduce the play cost by 1. And number 3. Start of your main phase, reveal the top card of your Digi-Egg. Place that card and all of your Digimon with Royal Knight and their traits under this Digimon as its bottom Digivolution source. Meaning turn 1, if you played the cheaper Royal Knights like Magnamon, you could then suck it into Yggdrasil in the breeding area to reduce your next play cost. The only downside is none of your Digimon played that turn get Rush, but some cards do give you that effect. Moving in color order, Ulforce Speedramon returns with an on-play and when digivolving effect that lets you trash 2 of your opponent's Digivolution sources on one of their Digimon for each Digimon you have with Royal Knight and its traits, and Blue Tamer in play. By itself, it's a trash 2, but with multiple Royal Knights, it could be game-ending to lose specific inheritables. Magnamon returns as yet another blocker, albeit this time the Digivolution is only from Yellow and from Vmon for a cost of 3. The best part is that when this Digimon would leave play, draw 1. Then you may play one Vmon from your hand or this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying its cost. I foresee quite a number of shenanigans you could do with this card in Armor Rush decks in BT13, and I'm excited to test it. Leopardmon migrates colors from blue to green, which I'm honestly okay with considering Panyamon was the main level 5 I wanted to get working with this Digimon. When digivolving in main, once per turn you may play one Digimon card with Royal Knight and its traits, or one green Digimon card from your hand paying its cost. When you would, reduce the play cost by 4. Not groundbreaking busted, but Leopardmon also has some standalone support that expands your strategy as well. And the best part, all turns when you play another Digimon, all of your Digimon with Royal Knight and their traits and your green Digimon gain blocker. So even if your assault on your opponent's security ends up failing, any leftover Digimon could be used to block. For the first time ever, Leopardmon's Leopard mode also makes an appearance. You can mode change from Leopardmon for a cost of 1, and when digivolving suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and then one of your opponent's Digimon cannot unsuspend until the end of their next turn. A built-in Samadhi Santi. When attacking, you may suspend one of your other Digimon to unsuspend this Digimon, and this isn't limited to once per turn. You thought Ulforce was silly? Leopardmon in a way is too. End of your turn, you trash the top card of this Digimon and unsuspend all your Digimon. If this Digimon can survive all checks, then you'll unsuspend and everything has blocker thanks to Leopardmon. Examon also returns in this set, albeit as a rare. On play and when digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. That Digimon doesn't unsuspend during their unsuspend phase. All turns, once per turn, when your opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, you can either 1. Suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, or 2. Unsuspend one of your Digimon. I still prefer the secret rare variant, but at least you have a second option as a hit now when you're searching in the deck. Craniamon also returns, and it has been a long time since we've seen this Digimon. This Digimon digivolves for 5 and has 13,000 DP with the blocker keyword. On play and when digivolving, this Digimon isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon until the end of your opponent's turn. Unfortunately, it's still very vulnerable to option cards. The best part? You get a forced battle with one of your opponent's Digimon. They don't choose. You do. Craniamon has significant upgrades, but as a deck, I still don't think it's viable as a standalone boss monster. As for the next 2 Royal Knights, Dynasmon and Lord Nightmon are probably the most disappointing Royal Knights to make a second appearance. While their original appearances are yellow, these are purple. It's not that I hate purple, it's just that I can't run both in the same deck. For Dynasmon on play when digivolving, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 2 cards with Lucemon in their name or Royal Knight trait among them and trash the rest. Your turn, when you play another Digimon with Lucemon in its name or Royal Knight in its traits, delete all of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Lord Knightmon, on play and when Digivolving you may return one card with Lucemon or Royal Knight in its traits from your trash to hand. And opponents once per turn when an opponent's Digimon attacks. For each of your Digimon with Royal Knight in the traits, gain 1 memory. My biggest beef with these two Digimon are the fact that they work best in an Yggdrasil deck, but if you're wanting to do something with Lucemon, I don't feel there's enough that you need ways to get both of them out and also play Lucemons for cheap, which isn't very viable. But enough of that. Omekamon is the white level 4 that goes with the Yggdrasil line. Play cost 4 and a stat line of 4000 DP. This Digimon on play draws you a card. On deletion, you can place one Digimon card with Royal Knight in its traits from your hand under Yggdrasil in your breeding area as its bottom Digivolution card. Funny enough, it is X-Antibody related, so it is also searchable off of a lot of card effects. This is one of few cards that I've seen as a 4 of in the Yggdrasil deck guaranteed. For option cards, the only two I'll go with for this video discussion are Vulcan Crusher and Purge of the Royal Knights. Vulcan Crusher lets you choose one of your Digimon, then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon with DP equal to or less than the chosen Digimon to its owner's hand. Then by returning the top card of Leopardmon Leopard Mode, you can unsuspend all your Digimon. An interesting option that can recycle your Leopard Mode as you don't trash the rest of the stack, and you get to do it all over again to attack. This is honestly a win more card, and for security it just suspends one of your opponent's Digimon. Not too game breaking, but I think there are better options. Purge of the Royal Knights has a lot of effects. Main, draw 1, and then you may place one Digimon card from your hand under one of your Yggdrasil in the breeding area. Then, you place this onto the battle area. The delay effect allows you to play one Digimon card with Royal Knight in its traits under the Digimon in your breeding area without paying its cost. The on-play effect doesn't activate, but it does gain Rush for the turn. Luckily, it's not like a certain card from EX4 that bounces itself back to hand, which I'm glad. This card is fairly decent, and since you're playing Yggdrasil as the egg, you'll have instant access to white. But the last two cards for this set review are actually the secret rares. Gallantmon returns with a convenient on-play in that if you don't have a Digimon in play, you can reduce the cost by 2 for every 5 cards in both players' trash. Meaning if you and your opponent have a combined trash of 30 cards, you can play this boy for just 1 memory. Conveniently, this Digimon has Rush as well. On play and when Digivolving and when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less. If no Digimon is deleted by this effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 13,000 DP or more. This part of the effect is largely questionable to me, considering it's not a broad enough range you can do some damage. Omnimon, on the other hand, has an on-play and when Digivolving effect that lets you delete one of your opponent's Digimon or play one of each Digimon card with a different name, and with Royal Knight in the traits from under the Digimon in your breeding area without paying the cost. If you do play a Digimon by this effect, trash the Digimon in the breeding area, then all of your Digimon gain Rush for the turn. This is the endgame finisher for the Yggdrasil deck, and I've seen how this deck can pretty much close out games with just this Digimon. For your basic red-blue deck though, I don't anticipate this Omnimon seeing play, mainly because this synergizes best with Yggdrasil. Generally speaking, the deck runs 4-ofs for Magnamon, Leopardmon, Gallantmon, and Omnimon, with the non-Royal Knights being Omekamon, Yggdrasil, and Purge of the Royal Knights. The remaining Royal Knights are 2 to 3 copies typically, but it's more of a ratio game in what you ultimately want to do. Sample deck list here to kind of get an idea of what it all does. But now you may be wondering, but DIGI-PANDA, you didn't go over Justmon, Gankumon, or Alphamon. The reason why I split those 3 Royal Knights from the Yggdrasil set review video is because the prior Digivolved forms are also released in this set. Because of this, part 2 will feature more discussion points for Justmon and Alphamon decks as they get new support. But the deck in general can utilize a lot of Sistermon support as well in order to play cheap bodies, draw more, and flood your trash. What are your thoughts on Yggdrasil, and do you feel similarities already to D-Reaper? Ultimately, I feel some initial deck designs appear as tests for what is soon to come, with potentially the 4 Great Dragons being a template for the 4 Sovereign, or even the Dark Masters. Let me know which cards were your favorite from this set, and I'll see you on the next video. This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.